Mrs. Daisy Bates and her charges arrived at the school. With surprising ease, they were admitted through one of the less conspicuous entrances. Seconds later, a white female student climbed through a first-story window and yelled that she wasn't going to school with niggers. The sweep of the television cameras showed a crowd that was calm. Many were smiling. None was visibly armed in any way. Things were moving so calmly that the cameramen were observed staging some action. A black was shown on film being kicked in the seat of the pants, but I was told by authorities on the scene that this had been staged. In the crowd, however, were some 8 agitators known to the Federal Bureau of Investigation who were there for no good purpose but to create as much chaos as possible. These recruits did not come from Little Rock. They had no children in the school. They were provocateurs. They began to mount on car tops and scream to the crowd, "Let's get those niggers out of there." The agitators first tried to bully the police into defecting. Tempers began to rise. The leaders of each assault on the police lines were collared and put into police wagons and taken to jail. More than 40 people were taken into custody. No one in the crowd tried to intervene to prevent the arrests and removal of the troublemakers. No one in the crowd had clubs or weapons of any kind. These 2 points convinced me that 98% of the people there were not part of an organized mob. Nevertheless, the pandemonium at Central High School caused Superintendent Virgil Blossom to dismiss school that first day of desegregation, and the crowds dispersed. U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower intervened by federalizing the Arkansas National Guard and dispatching the 101st Airborne Division to Little Rock to ensure that the court orders were enforced. The troops maintained order, and desegregation proceeded. In the 1958–59 school year, however, public schools in Little Rock were closed in another attempt to roll back desegregation. That period is known as the Lost Year in Arkansas. A significant role of Bates during the civil rights movement was the advocating and mentoring of the Little Rock Nine. Bates' house became a National Historic Landmark in 2002 because of her role during the desegregation of schools. Her house served as a haven for the Little Rock Nine. The planning of how desegregation would be carried out and the goals to implement were an important part of her role during the movement, and specifically, the house was a way to help achieve advocacy for civil rights. Her house also was an official drop-off and pick-up place for the Little Rock Nine before and after school, every day. Because her house was an official meeting place, it became a center for violence and was often damaged by segregation supporters. The perseverance of Mrs. Bates and the Little Rock Nine during these turbulent years sent a strong message throughout the South that desegregation worked and the tradition of racial segregation under Jim Crow would no longer be tolerated in the United States of America. In 1998, a spokeswoman for Bates stated that Bates had felt guilty for her failure to notify one of the young ladies, Elizabeth Eckford, that they were delaying the entrance into Central High School. The family of the child had no telephone, and the father did not return from work until 3 a.m. Eckford didn't know that she needed her parents to accompany her, and she also didn't know that she needed to gather with other black students that morning. As a result, Eckford met a mob by herself, when a kind reporter, Grace Lorch, took her out of the mob and guided her to the bus station. The previous night, Bates fell asleep before she was able to deliver the message to the family, and the girl attempted to attend her first day alone at the segregated school. Bates not only wanted the black students to receive the same level of education as white students, but she also wanted to make it her job for all races to have the same quality of education.